Hello there everyone, my name is Crazy Caleb, and today we're going to be taking a look at More code. So this module itself, if you happen to recognize the name of it, it's similar to Morse code, but it actually is a bit trickier. So everything you knew about Morse code, throw it out the window, because now we're going to spice things up a little bit, as it says in the flavor text. And what we have to introduce into this module is we have our normal dots and dashes. However, in this case, we have also dits and das. Now, there's a big difference between these guys, and also the way that the Morse code, the more code present in the table for decrypting letters is. So, what exactly are we going to be doing with this module? So, this is the way the module looks like. On the left, we have this big light flashing in more code, and here we have what we're going to submit when we get our word that we're going to identify using these tables down below. Based off of a couple edgework conditions, we're going to simply look at the code that it wants to give us to, and then we'll submit that into the module and hope and pray to God that it solves. And it is important to note that upon striking, the flashing word will indeed change. So best make sure that you know what word you're looking at and if it's present on the display, because there can be any word not listed in the actual manual. So it's important that you make sure that you can at least see the word in some way, shape, or form. It is also important to note that with this module, there is no indication of whether it will, when the word is going to restart. So the best bet that you have is simply just start reading off characters and then go from there. But it is important to note that these do loop around with no indication whatsoever. So let's actually get familiar with how more code works, because the concept of it actually makes it very tricky on the diffuser, and this work is going to mainly focus on the diffuser making sure that they can get the characters correct. So in this case, the unit of time it takes to flash will be really quickly. So it's like a dit in this case is almost instant spontaneous. It's like a very quick flash, and it turns off. A DAW is, in this case, is 5 units. It's longer than a dot. It's a bit longer, and the way that I kind of pace it is it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something similar to that. And a dash in this case is the longest one, which is 15 units. Those generally tend to be very obvious. And if we look, that was a dot, that was a dit right there. That first one that you saw, that very click right there. And this is a dash right here. That's the way that you can distinct that one. They are very long and they are very obvious. And definitely, without question, the easiest to learn. But the main area that you're going to want to focus on is between the DAWs and the dots. Those two can be a bit scary considering that they are only 2 units apart from each other. But the way that you can determine whether it was a DAW or a dot is also using the space between the letters, which in this case will flash red, which is also 5 units. That right there. So let's actually take a look and let's figure out what we're going to be looking at here. So instead of normally noting down as dot or dashes, I'm actually going to note down the unit it takes, and then we'll see what the letters are afterwards. Let's wait for a new letter to pop up here. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 3. 1, then 1, then 1, then end of sequence, then 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a 15. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, next word. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3. End of sequence. And then 1. And then 1. And that was 3, I believe. And let's see if we can figure out something with these 3 letters that we have here for us. So in this case, 5, 3, 1, 1. So in this case, that's going to correspond to DA, which is the square box in this case. Then dot, then dit, dit. So let's take a look. So DA, dot, dit, dit. Da, dot, dit, dit. Da, dot, dit, dit corresponds to tango in this case. So that's our first letter in this case that we found. So next up is going to be dit, dash, dash, da. Dit, dash, dash, da. Dit, dash, dash, da is a Romeo in this case. So that's going to be our second letter. So dit, corresponding to that one square block, dash dash being the round, sort of the rounder square in this case. It has those corners that you can tell. Then another dash, and then a da. That's a Romeo. And then in this case we have 3, which is a dot, dot dash dot dit dot. So dot dash dot dit dot is an alpha. As we can see here, dot dash dot dit dot. So let's see if we can actually find anything with T, R, and A present here. And we could be looking at ultra hot. So now we can use the first couple characters that we actually got from here, and let's take a look at the hotel. In this case, it does correspond to 1, 3, and I might have cut it off a little bit too soon for it to be the 3. So in this case, I have reason to believe that we are looking at ultra hot, based off of the letters that would have been given to us. In this case, that would have been the hotel. So now that we've determined our word, there is no other possibilities with it, and there is indeed a sequence of 3 that does indeed pop up. Let's take a look at what exactly we need to submit. We're going to start up at the top here of this table. There are 2 separate tables, so make sure you pay attention to the differences between the 2. So if there are 2 or more batteries on the bomb, that is true. We have 4 batteries currently right now. No, we have more, but that's plenty enough. So we're going to be looking at these 2 columns in this case. So there are 2 letters in the serial number in common with broken. Let's take a look. So we have an echo. No, we do not have exactly 2 characters in the serial number in common with broken. So we're going to be using otherwise in this case. And now we have our code that we're going to submit. We're going to submit 4.237. And what we can do is we can simply just cycle each digit respectively. And once we have that set, it'll do its submission thing. And just like that is a solved module. Let's take a look at another example here. As this module definitely does require a bit of practice with getting the read in, but once you figure out the timing of everything, it becomes so much easier. Let's wait for a new letter in this case. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. End of sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, another 15. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. End of sequence. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 3. That was then 1. Then 1. That first one was a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15. 1. Then 1, 2, 3. I believe that was a 5. Yeah, it looks similar to it. And let's see if we can figure out what these 4 letters. So in this case, we have a sequence of all of 5 DAs in this case. That should be pretty easy to find, which it is in this case. So uniform, dash, or da, 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 da. Uniform. So next up we have dash, dash, dot, da. Let's see what we can find with there. So dash, dash, dot, da is November. So we're starting to look good because we have letters forming. Next up we have da, dot, dit, dit. So we have da, dot, dit, dit. Let's take a look for that one. In this case, that is tango. Da, in this case, because that was 5 units. Dot, in this case, which is 3 units. And dit, which is 1 unit. Da, dot, dit, dit. So tango for our 3rd character. And then lastly, 5 is da, 15 is dash, 1 is dit, and 5 is da. So da, dash, dit, dit, da. Dit, da. You're going to be hearing this a lot, don't worry. So let's take a look. So da, dash, dit, da, which corresponds to Lima in this case. So let's see what we can find with uniform, November, tango, and Lima. Uniform, November, tango, and Lima. In this case, we do not have any other characters that mess around with it, and there's no other ones that. A lot of these characters, a lot of these words are actually pretty distinct from one another, so they should actually be pretty easy to, with enough letters, be able to find a sequence together. So in this case, we're looking at the word gauntlet. So, let's take a look. If there is a lit indicator with the label Bob, let's take a look. There is actually indeed. So yes, that is true. And if there's only one vowel or one Yankee in the serial number, in this case, neither of those are true. So we're going to be taking a look at the otherwise case, which in this case, our code is going to be 4280. 4280. Let's hit submit. And just like that is a solved module. Let's take a look at one final example, and I hope that you guys understand exactly what's going on, because this module is kind of easy to slip up in many cases. And definitely, this is one that does require a bit of practice with reading the characters, but within time, you will have no trouble at all. I don't doubt it. So let's take a look. So, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. That was 1. End of sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. End of sequence. 1. End of sequence. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. End of sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's another 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that's another 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's another 15. And yeah, another 15. Okay. So we actually have 5 letters this time around because we only had 1 dit in this case. So let's take a look at what we're looking at here. So we have dash, da, and dit. Dash, da, dit. Let's take a look. Dash, da, and dit. If I can find it. And I believe I actually did start off at a little bit of a weird spot, so I'm not actually going to count that letter, so I'm just going to move on to the next ones, because I know for a fact that I did start at the beginning of the sequence. I might have missed a character in between. So the nice thing about this module is that you actually do have the ability to just be able to figure out if you're looking at a word. So you're guaranteed to get it right unless somehow you read it wrong. So let's take a look at the next letter. So we have 15, 15, so it's dash dash dot da. Dash dash dot da corresponds to November in this case. Next up is just a dit, which is kilo. And then dit da in this case corresponds to whiskey. And then lastly, 5 dashes corresponds to Oscar. So let's take a look. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to pop up. So let's take a look at NKWO. Which in this case, let's take a look at I and see if we have at least these 3 characters present in the actual character. So India in this case corresponds to da dash dash da dot, which in this case is our last 3 characters, dash, da, and dot, and dit, excuse me. So in this case, that would link true, that would be true, and then in this case, our word is link work, because that's the amount of characters that we have, and if we were to put an I in front of it, it would still match. So let's take a look at the serial number cases, or edgework rules. So in this case, a lit indicator with the label of Bob is not true, it's not present, and we're going to go to the otherwise area. Serial number contains only 1 letter in faulty. In this case, we have foxtrot. Do we have any other words in faulty? Delta is not in, hotel is not in, and kilo is not in. So in this case, this column is true. And our final answer for this module will be 4.239. And if you happen to overstep a digit, you can just simply loop back around. 1, 2, 4, 2, 3, 9. 4.239. And just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.